Howdy folks, welcome to part 6 of A Beginner's Guide to Public Speaking with me, Jack McCurdy, and Peter Chittum, the final part in this video series. We have talked about preparing, delivering, ideating a great session. You've walked off stage and you have finished delivering an amazing presentation. Now what do you do with it? What do you do after everything has happened?
Well, I mean, I think, the very first thing is you want to share about it, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And, one thing that, I've kind of fallen out of the habit of doing this, but I used to do it much better is take a picture while you're up on stage, like a selfie with the audience, like those kinds of things make for like really good storytelling about you telling a story, right? But if not that, if you have some friendly audience members, see if they'll take a picture of you and share it back with you. But create a narrative about what you did and go to the people that and share about that. So these days, I think LinkedIn is probably the most widely used platform and most commonly used platform. There's definitely some there's a bit of a groundswell happening, I would say, around Blue Sky these days as well. Like that would be a good one, So I think that initial social post is a great way to get some attention on the work that you've done and hopefully the success that you've had sharing your story.
Yeah, for sure. And when you're posting a couple of things, make sure to thank the conference organizers that brought you in, brought you on. Thank your audience for attending. Just those simple things. Those are the people that have made this happen. You've delivered the talk and they gave you the opportunity. So I think it's important to be mindful. We've thought about and talked about audience so much in this series. You've got to thank them at the end too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if there were any moments that you recall or that came up, like if you had a Q&A session and there was a good question, or if there's something about your talk that you think is going to be particularly interesting for folks that you want to draw your attention to, kind of can make that the focus of your presentation as well. And then the conferences that are going to share your video will usually do it some number of weeks or months after the conference has actually happened. So I would, at that point in time, set myself a reminder, let's say a month or two out, to check for the conference videos being available and do a follow-up post there, because now people can actually see what you've done, not just like the picture of what you've done. So I think both of those posts are kind of table stakes, I'd say, for the minimum social sharing that you want to do about any talk that you do.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of getting a recording back, every day's a learning day. Reflect and refine what you've done, what worked well, what didn't work well, what would you need to tweak for next time. Many times at conferences, every time I've come off stage at a conference, somebody from the audience, at least 1, 2, sometimes 3 or more people have come up to me and thanked me for the talk or asked me an additional follow-up question. Reflect on what those questions are and build that into the narrative of the next time that you do the talk. Maybe you weren't especially explicit, or in that particular area that you were hoping to be more explicit on, or maybe that's the natural next step of people's curiosity and their learning journeys. Let's give them that as well. Is there space in the talk to incorporate the answers to those questions, providing that they're pertinent and relevant? Or is that now your next idea for your next talk? Because the question that they've asked is, oh, that's a rabbit hole that we can go down. There's your next talk idea right there, ready for you.
Yeah. I think that is really important. It's very rare that I've had a presentation that I've not gone on to make some tweaks to, at least some minor tweaks to or adjustments to the next time I gave it. I've learned about myself that I actually learn when I talk, like me expressing and sharing ideas helps me digest and understand information. So like it's not uncommon for me to have kind of little mini realizations as I'm giving a presentation, and sort of coming to an understanding as I'm talking about something. Like that has happened to me. And so making sure I've captured those and I can kind of come back to them and possibly use them either, in a future presentation or, a next iteration of this one. I think that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And with your presentation and the talk that you might have delivered, find an opportunity to maybe use that in alternative ways.
Mm-hmm.
Create a blog post around a section of your talk, or a LinkedIn article, or a short video like we have done throughout this series.
Yep.
Find a way to reuse some of that content if you're looking at building a wider personal brand and presence in the ecosystem. Talks aren't the only way to do that. Sharing your thought leadership and your perspective across different mediums can be really helpful too.
Yeah, and like there's great resources out there to share the sort of virtual assets that are going to exist about the fact that you gave a talk. So you've got now a bunch of things that prove, that are kind of the receipts for you having done the work. Like you've got hopefully some pictures and some photos. Maybe the conferences did a video of it. You've got a slide presentation. Do some work to, like Linktree is a really good option. If your slides are, most slides these days live in some sort of cloud service. So if there's a way to sort of publicly share your slides that way in a read-only way, get them visible and accessible to other people. If it wasn't recorded, fire up a Google Meet or a Zoom call or whatever. Do a version on that and then post it to YouTube so that you've actually have a recording of it. And I think a really important way to think about turning from I'm a speaker who's given one conference talk to I'm a regular speaker is learning how to scale the work. Yeah. And the way to really do that is to give the talk many times. It's a lot of time and energy to put into pour into building a talk, and then to share it once. It's hard. You can't just do that over and over again. So take advantage of the fact that you now have a shareable piece of your knowledge and of yourself that you can take around to other places. If you manage to get in for a conference talk for your first talk, you now have something that you can go around to local user groups, developer groups, admin groups, and share as well. So start to reach out to, I'm familiar, we're familiar with here in the UK, and there's quite a concentration of developer and admin groups that are within a couple of hours of any of us to be able to go and share in. Like I could go into London, I could go to the Cotswolds group, there's a Reading group, there's a Bristol group, I could go up north, there's probably, and that doesn't even count, taking a not very long train ride to Paris and possibly sharing it to the Paris group, right? So we have loads of opportunities, and it might be different, if you don't live in a place with a lot of user groups around you. But user group leaders are constantly looking for stories and for speakers to come and share to their groups. So, if you have something in your back pocket and you have an opportunity to get to a user group, or maybe you're going on holiday somewhere and there happens to be a Salesforce user group, like take your talk with you and give it there. Like it's a great way to meet some of the community that you wouldn't normally get to see. So scale the work that you've done, try and reach more people, get it out there in front of more audiences.
Yeah, I don't think I can say it any better than that. You do it, refine it, scale it, and watch how your speaking journey progresses over time. Because it really is a journey, like anything, like in our careers. Keep learning from it, taking feedback from it, and tweaking for next time. And be ambitious.
Yeah.
You may have been listening to this guide and think, oh, I'm not quite ready to submit at Dreamforce yet or TDX yet. Do a local dreaming event, build up the confidence, and aim for loftier heights.
Yeah, and I would say, you will never feel 100% ready before you actually go and do it. So whatever that feeling is inside of yourself that's saying, I'm not ready to do Dreamforce, just put your name in, throw it out there, and you just never know what's going to happen. So yeah, like I don't think you do yourself any service by choosing to wait to submit a talk. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to be declined. Really, nobody's going to care about that. 24 hours after you've been declined, nobody's going to know that except for you. So, all that you've done is you've practiced submitting your talk one more time. And that's maybe just a way to think about it, is just keep on practicing submitting your talk until you get accepted.
So good. Thank you so much, Peter. I hope that everybody is tuned into this series, has got some value from it, and hopefully inspired some confidence for people to take the next step or the first step in their journeys. And public speaking isn't just for extroverts, and it's not just for executives. It really can be done by anybody, and hopefully this guide is a little bit of confidence for people considering it and what they can do to take that step. Raise your hand, hit submit, say yes to the next opportunity, and you never know what who is going to hear the message that you have and the impact that it will have on them. So
yeah, awesome, great. Well, thanks a lot, Jack. This has been a lot of fun to go through some stories about us telling stories. So there you go.
Absolutely, Peter. Thank you for your time, and see everybody around at a conference event sometime soon. Hopefully it's you on stage and not us. And if you're on stage and you see one of us at a conference, let us know. We'd love to know that we've actually helped somebody. One of the reasons I do the work that I do is because I want to see other people succeed. It's just one of the things that gets me up and gets me excited about my work. So I really hope that some people can take this and kind of do something new with their work and their careers in the Salesforce ecosystem. Great.